Hitchens to define Pascal's wager for us first.
All right, it probably will take about, yes, it'll take a minute. Blaise Pascal was a very distinguished Catholic theologian of the 17th century, and also a very, very, very distinguished mathematician, and still is considered to be one because he's one of the founders of probability theory. And he's the author of a famous book called, in French, Les Pensées, Thoughts, which is addressed, interestingly, it's one of the reasons I'm so fond of it, in a way, it's addressed to the man who is so made that he cannot believe. Pascal knew that there would always be people, always had been people, who are constitutionally incapable of believing this stuff, can't be brought to believe it. And one of his cruder attempts to break down resistance of people like myself was this. Said, look, what have you got to lose? Say you believe in God, and if he does exist, you have a chance of his favor. If you go ahead like this and say he doesn't, what if he does exist? You lose everything. That's it. I don't think I've condensed it in any unfair way. That's it. That's why it's called Pascal's wager. Sometimes called Pascal's gambit, in fact, by mathematicians, but it has the correct echo to me precisely of the huckster on the racetrack saying, how can you lose? Have I got a bet for you? Can you imagine anything cheaper, really, or more sordid? The two things that it assumes, needs to assume, are these. One, a fantastically cynical God who's also a bloody fool. I mean, a nasty and cynical person who's also so thick that he would be fooled by me saying, tell you what, on the flip coin that you exist and I need a break, I'll say I believe in you. He says, oh, I'm really impressed now. You've just undergone a moral transformation. This Blaise Pascal is considered in the first rank of Christian thinkers, I might add. The second thing it assumes, of course, is the most corrupt and vulgar kind of consumer, the sort of person who would fall for a deal like that and would think, that would be nice. I'll bet correctly. I hope you'll forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, for mentioning this, because I don't at all want to invoke my own particular case in an attempt to gain your sympathy. I'll say it as objectively as I can. Some of you may have read that I'm not very well and may not have very long to live. I find it particularly objectionable that this wager, which Pascal offers to anyone at any time in their life, to be fair to him, tends to be pressed on you all the time, if you don't look as if you're going to last very long, by people who say, surely that now you might be frightened and not feeling at your best and afraid of a smelly and a disgusting end. Surely this would be the perfect moment to repudiate all the convictions of a lifetime. For some reason, that comes naturally to a lot of people of faith. I don't mind for myself, but I think it's the vilest kind of bullying to inflict on people in hospital and people who are in extremis. Anyway, thus my curtain raiser to the great Pascal. Thank you.